Good morning. PowerPoint presentation on Agile software design. The Agile design methodology is popular among product teams because it allows them to create products faster that meet customer needs better. Though Agile's roots are in software development, it's very effective in design as well. In this article, we'll review the concept of Agile design and learn how it can. The Agile methodology implies that designers work alongside other teams and single responsibility principle, open closed principle, scope substitution principle, interface segregation principle, and dependency inversion principle or the 5 principles of Agile design methodology. So let us see about single responsibility principle. The single responsibility principle states that a class should have only one reason to change. It was first stated in this form by Robert C. Martin in an article that later formed a chapter in his Principles and Practices of Agile Software Development book. The idea behind the SRP is that every class, module or function in a program should have one responsibility or purpose in a program. Moving on to the next slide, open closed principle. The open closed principle states that software entities such as classes, modules, methods, etc. should be open for extension but closed for modification. In practice, this means creating software entities whose behavior can be changed without the need to edit and recompile the code itself. A principle which states that we should add new functionality by adding new code, not by editing old code. It defines a lot of value of object-oriented programming. List of substitution principle. The principle defines that the objects of a superclass shall be replaceable with object of its subclasses without breaking the application. That requires the object of your subclasses to behave in the same way as the object of your subclass. It is a design by contract principle that states that any subclass must behave as we expect the superclass to behave. Interface segregation principle. The interface segregation principle states that a client should not be exposed to methods it doesn't need. Declaring methods in an interface that the client doesn't need pollutes the interface and leads to a bulky or fat interface. This principle stresses that the fact that when an interface is being defined, one must be careful to put only those methods which are specific to the client in the interface. The clients should not depend on interfaces. Dependency inversion principle. One should depend upon abstractions and not concrete instances. Typically, in a software application, high-level components need to depend on lower-level components. If the lower-level components are hard-coded into the high-level components, this causes two problems. And this principle initiates that fact that the high-level modules must be independent of those on lower levels. Moving on to the next slide. In short, these principles are nothing but single responsibility principle. A class should have only a single responsibility. And example, only one potential change in the software specification should be able to affect the specification of the class. Then open closed principle is nothing but a software module. It can be a class or a method. It should be open for extension but closed for modification. And list scope substitution principle is nothing but the object in a program should be replaceable with instances of their subtypes without altering the correctness of the program. An interface segregation principle, the clients should not be forced to depend upon the interfaces that they do not use. And dependency inversion principle is a program to an interface. Last but not the least, we have came to the conclusion. Agile principles and practices help deliver working products more frequently from a couple of months to hours. Their application supports organizing teams around values while supporting trust via increased transparency. They are best suited for projects characterized by changing speed and turbulence. Agile principle helps to provide a framework for software development that is adaptable, flexible, and responsive to change. We have came to the final slide. Thank you. This is all about Agile software design and its principles.